That's what I'm talking about. You know? Is Reverend Dr. Freddie Means in the house?
You got me, London?
Is Reverend Dr. Freddie Means in the house? Okay. As you know, our conference for the past 12 days always starts sort of in an African-centric kind of way to center us in terms of who we are and where we are. So we start, other than just sort of meeting and greeting each other, we start with libations, which is an African tradition. We'll talk more about that later. And we've been doing this for a lot of years, and we've had lots of illustrious people do this. In fact, I'm now thinking, do we have all the right stuff to do this? It's okay? Because you should have a plan and a number of other things. You'll see a little video in a moment. We didn't have the name soldier where the libations was done. But we've had many, many people do libations for us over the years. And we landed on one person as our official libation person. And he's Dr. Ron Daniels. He is just incredible. He's going to hear from me. He's going to open the conference with the state of Black America. I'll talk more about him, give him a proper introduction in a few minutes. But he's going to bless us with libations like you've never heard before. And this is really like articulating our history in a few short minutes. And so please welcome to the stage to do our libations, our opening libations, Dr. Ron Daniels from PNC.
Well, we hope everybody's doing well this morning. How you doing?
All right.
That's good. We want to begin, as the amazing George Frazier said, with a spiritual, cultural engagement. Libation can be done many ways and in many different traditions, but the essence of it is that we believe as African people in the power of our ancestors. We believe that by invoking their names, we can bring them into the present. In fact,
yeah, I was just looking for you. I hadn't seen you.
To the degree that you remember our forebears, we keep them alive. And so, libation is about understanding the nature
Yeah,
of
that's
the
what I thought.
African
I just got the info
worldview.
when I got here.
The sense that we know that we are born, we grow, we die, but in the final analysis, as long as we are in an exercise of remembrance, we never ever die. We continue. And that there's the power, again, of bringing our ancestors into our midst. And so we want to do that this morning, and we would ask everyone to
I think I'm right next to you, though.
And the way we will do this, there are many ways of doing it. I will begin by sketching a few things, and I will name some people or events, and you will on cue say Ashe. Typically we would have a plant and here, and we do have some water which we will sprinkle.
I'll see you this evening when you get in.
And at a certain point I will ask you
All right, big bro.
to join in by calling on the names of your forebears, those who have contributed to your life as African people. And so we begin by remembering that we are the people who gave the world its first civilization, that indeed we are the first people. Let me say Ashe.
Ashe.
We begin by understanding that out of Africa came the first astronomers and astrologists and mathematicians and great universities, and for that we say Ashe.
Ashe.
We recall that we are the people who produced the world's first multi-genius in the person of Imhotep, and what an incredible achievement that was for all of humankind, and we say Ashe. But we recall also the Ma'afa, the intrusion into our lives by outsiders whose history had not yet compared with ours, but came with hostile intentions. They came and they intruded into our lives, and we were enslaved, we were captured. But we also were people who always resisted. And for the resistance, we say, Ashe. We say for those like Queen Nzinga, who fought back against the imperialists and the conquerors, we say Ashe. We say for Shaka Zulu and those who fought in South Africa and other places, we say Ashe. We say for all of those who marched to the sea, falling down, some of them who never made it, yet for them we remember and we say Ashe. For those who were captured in the castles and who were in those dungeons in El Amina and in Glory Island, and who never made it out, but we remember them because of their suffering and sacrifice, we say Ashe. For those who came across the great oceans in the Middle Passage, and many of them on occasion in those ships deciding that before they would be slaves, they would dive overboard and leap below the waves, saying, before I be a slave, metaphorically, I'll go on to my Lord and be free. For them we say Ashe. And for those who came to this hemisphere, those who landed in Haiti and those who landed in Jamaica, into Central and South America, those who refused to be conquered and created the great maroon settings where they resisted colonialism and imperialism and enslavement, we say Ashe. For people like Boukman and for Toussaint Louverture and Dessalines, the great Haitian Revolution, who fought back and shattered the myth of white supremacy, we say for all of them, Ashe. For those who came to this part of the country, to North America, those who in fact were enslaved but would not submit, the Nat Turners of the world and the Denmark Visas of the world and the Gabriel Prosses of the world, we say Ashe. For their suffering and their sacrifice, and for those who were free blacks, who built great institutions like Richard Allen and Absalom Jones, and people who kept struggling and fighting and building in spite of white supremacy, we say Ashe. And for those who created great institutions, the banks, the insurance companies, and the women and men who kept struggling all throughout our history to make a difference, for all of them we say Ashe. Whether it is Henry McNeil Turner, or whether it is the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, or whether it is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, whether it is Frederick Douglass, whether it is all of these great leaders who sacrificed. We call upon them to be with us today as we struggle to create a new African people. For all of them we say Ashe. And on into the period of W.E.B. Du Bois, or remembering into the current period the people who struggled in the southern part of these United States, fighting against apartheid. For all of those we say Ashe. Whether it was indeed a Rosa Parks, we say Ashe. Ella Baker, we say Ashe. Daisy Bates, we say Ashe. Fannie Lou Hamer, who said she was sick and tired of being sick and tired, we say Ashe. From Malcolm X, El Haj Malik, El Shabazz, our great freedom fighter, we say Ashe. From Martin Luther King, our shining saint, we say Ashe. And let us not forget Medgar Evers, who was shotgunned down in this driveway 50 years ago. For him, we say Ashe. We now invite all of you to call out the names of your forebears, your grandmothers, your grandfathers, your aunties, your uncles, those who are the nameless ones who also helped to create history. Shout out their names. 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 And now, we bow our heads in a moment of silent meditation. And even though he is not yet an ancestor, let us also remember Modibo, who lies on his bed in South Africa, one of the greatest leaders the world has ever known, Nelson